Greetings. Thank you for joining me on this journey to something phenomenal. This little slideshow is so you want to be successful. Be successful, I'm always talking about let's make habits your ally and not your enemy. So let's go. Let's get into it. Read, read, read. One of the best things you can do if you want to be successful is expand your mindset. Get exposed to new ideas, expand your vocabulary, open your whole world. You can be in the same place and be out of this world. There's so much that you can do, so much that you can learn just by opening up a book. So this is one of the books that I read, Think and Grow Rich. This is a good book. They also got another spin on this called Think and Grow Rich, a Black Perspective. Forgive me, I can't think of the author's name, but I'm sure if you Google it, it'll come up. Some other books that I thought were particularly um, interesting or intriguing. It's one called The Power of Nice. Uh, also, Man, Child in the Promised Land. Malcolm X, his autobiography. And I'm big on biographies. I like biographies because I can learn, you know, through other people's experiences and stuff. George Foreman got a good biography. Uh, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes. I like a lot of boxers. Biography. At one point, I was just reading anything, but I've read some pretty good biographies. Michelle Obama, Whitney Houston. Just reading about people. I'm definitely interested in people. It's a lesson in every story that you read. There's so much that you can glean from those stories. And thought leaders, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. The list is too long to go, but just read, 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 read articles, read magazines, read, read, expose yourself, bump up against some ideals that's going to challenge you, that's going to force you to grow. Boom. Number 2, master your mind. Sometimes people think this is overstated, but I think it's understated. You know, a lot of times you've met negative people. They complain, they whine. Think about that. Think about when you see that phone call and it's, you know, negative Nancy, or nagging whoever. Just think about that. Think about the energy that they give off. People don't want to be around them. People get tired. People start red butting them. People started avoiding them like the plague. But think of the power of mastering your mind. Instead of, letting the circumstance get the best of you, you say, hey, you know what? This circumstance is this. I'm going to look at it differently. I'm going to master my mind. I'm going to teach my mind to look at things in a whole different perspective. If it happens to be one of those situations that I can't change, I'm going to change the way I feel about it. I'm going to change, if I'm, you know, in a wheelchair and people say, oh man, I can't walk. I'm immobile. Well, I can't walk, but I'm not immobile. If I can't, you know, get up and walk, I get in my wheelchair and and roll. If I get in my can't get in the wheelchair, I get on the ground and roll around. It's just we gotta have that determination. And mastering your mind is one of the biggest things you can do. Make a habit. Tell yourself that this is gonna happen. This is what I'm gonna do. Train yourself. Like worrying. Don't worry. It's this song called His Eyes Is on a Sparrow. So the gist of that song is God is looking after the birds. And aren't you more important than the birds? Birds, they can't put away, they can't stock and store all this stuff, but they taken care of. You'll be taken care of too. So master your mind. Put those worries behind. Think positive. You know, get into the laws of attraction. Talking about speaking of books. I haven't read it myself, but I've heard about it. It's called The Secret. And it just talks about the laws of attraction, the universal laws. And this really taps into, my philosophy of personal governance. You gotta be able to master your mind. Once you can master your mind, you start to be proactive in, You start to handle things better. You just don't react any kind of way. When you master your mind, you master a lot of your circumstances. And you put yourself in a driver's seat. And that's a good place to be. You don't want to be a passenger of your own life. This is your life. You writing your story. You writing each chapter. Take the time to cultivate and develop your mind. Develop discipline. Well, this ties very closely with the other one. Once you get your mind in check, then you can develop that discipline. The things that you know you need to be better at. If you had a habit of being late, a lot of people will say, oh man, I just can't be late. Once you develop discipline, you know, okay, I need to get up 40 minutes earlier. I need to do this. I need to, I'm getting to put on a little weight. I need to exercise more discipline at the table. More discipline in the gym. More discipline in terms of getting chores done, not procrastinating. Develop discipline. Discipline is going to be your best friend. Discipline will often outstrip talent. You'll see people that's super talented and unsuccessful. And you'll see somebody that may not be that talented at all, but they got discipline. They got determination and they got discipline on their side. So if the other person don't show up, the person that shows up early and do what they need to do, hey, they gonna have a better chance. Showing up is half the battle. When you got the super talented person that you can't count on versus you got the person, man, I can count on him. He may not be the best musician, but he here. He may not be the best vocalist, but he here. He may not be the best whatever, but he shows up and he put his best foot forward. Develop discipline. That right there cannot be understated. So if you're trying to do something phenomenal, trying to have a phenomenal physique, you gotta develop discipline. You're trying to be something phenomenal, you're trying to have a phenomenal speaking career, you're trying to have a phenomenal whatever you're trying to do, you gotta have discipline. Discipline is gonna help you get there a lot farther. Gonna help you get a lot further, a lot faster than being undisciplined. And a lot of people don't want to hear this, but this is very, very important. Become an expert in implementation. This right here, and they're all closely related. You learn stuff. You go to these different seminars, these conferences, you do all this reading, you get all these new ideals, you got all these great ideals. But what do these ideals mean if you don't implement them? So the information is great, but the transformation won't come into place until you implement them. So become an expert in implementing your ideals. Become an expert in implementing stuff, getting stuff done, doing stuff. Once you get in the habit of doing that, you'll become the go-to person. Oh man, let's go to JP, he get it done. Let's go to Sally, she gets it done. Lead a healthy lifestyle. And this ties into discipline and mastering your mind and all that. Lead a healthy lifestyle. What does it mean to have a great career, to have a wonderful income if you're unhealthy? You want your mind and you want your body to be as healthy as possible. You want to get proper rest. You want to get proper exercise. And the one thing that I know personally, diet. You want to have a decent diet. Now, I'm not going to get into what you should and couldn't do, but you definitely want to eat healthy. You definitely want to have a reasonably healthy lifestyle so that you can be productive and you can lead the life that you love to live. Get a mentor. This young lady right here, some of you probably know her as, her name is Jessica. Her story is that she turned from tragedy to triumph. She drunk drive one night and killed her best friend. And to pull herself back together, she started talking to schools and stuff like that to tell kids, the power of making one bad decision can be a fatal decision, and it can totally turn your life around. and I took her public speaking course, her strategy to public speaking course. And although she's not a direct mentor, this is one of the mentors that I have. Find you somebody that either is an online course, a webinar. I also had another person, young lady that I consulted with, named Amber Aziza, self-made young lady, smart. She specializes in millennial engagement. She's a business strategist, a coach, consultant. Find somebody that you can reach out and that you can work with. And I'm still in the process of reaching out to mentors. And you don't just have to have one. Find somebody that you connect with. Uh, Find somebody that you can touch base with. Somebody, a lot of times these things, when I talk about personal governance, I talk about personal investment. So sometimes you got to work your way up. Some of these people are very expensive. Some coaches is $15,000 an hour. Some of them, so you got to work your way up. You may not be able to afford that. So if you can take that online course for $1,000, take it. Start investing in you. Eventually, be another one for 2,000 later. Start investing. Start going to these conferences. Yes, some of them are expensive. Some of them are going to be more useful than others. But you got to believe in you. So get you a mentor. Save you a lot of time and a lot of headache because they're going to walk you through a lot. They're going to just be able to walk you through. They're there. They're where you at. They're where you want to be. So get you a mentor and get in the habit of keeping mentors. You know, get a rotation because you're going to learn a little bit of something different from each one. Set up a system. Like you see myself right here, I'm setting up my channel. This channel to expand my reach, but this by far is just a medium. It's not the medium. So, I'm out here talking to other people. I'm networking. I go to different conferences. I go to brown bag lunches. I'm constantly reaching out and working on expanding my sphere of influence. And, and part of that is even reaching out to expand this online community. But you also want that offline community. So set you up a system. So whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's using your Instagram, using your LinkedIn, or a combination, find you a system to put in place so that you can really expand or even establish a sphere of influence. This is definitely what you want to do, especially in this day and age, to really start sparking, getting on the path to your purpose and to being successful. Alrighty. Think long term. It's a long road. The road of prosperity, the road of redemption, the road of whatever. You got to think. We have to live for more than just the weekend. Sometimes, we look forward, you work hard, and especially if you're an entrepreneur and you work in your own hours, sometimes, you could be all work and you just look forward to getting that little vacation or taking that little breather. But think long term, think out. What's your long term strategy? What do you want? What's your legacy? What do you want your net worth to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's your goals? What's your big time goals? Think long term. People who think long term tend to be more committed. Like if you just think about, oh, I want to lose, 15 pounds so I can go to my friend's wedding. Well, that's one thing. But if you're thinking, hey, I want to be healthy. I want to be here for my grandchildren. I want to run that ultra marathon. When you think long term, you're going to put strategies and you're going to take actions, consistent, massive action to establish and achieve these long-term goals. So make a habit of writing those things down, writing those plans down, thinking out long-term, 5-year, 10-year plans. No tomorrow's not promised, but having a plan will definitely help you be ready. So it's better to have a plan and not need it than need a plan and not have it. And last but not least, focus on personal governance. Make that a habit. Make that a habit of investing in yourself, making personal investments. Habit of constantly learning something, constantly being curious, constantly challenge yourself, constantly trying to be the best version of yourself. You know, making it a habit of personal growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth, being more mature, just being better at whatever your purpose is that you're going for, whatever it is. If you a salesman, then be the best salesman. If you're in customer service, if you're in management, take this time to be accountable. Take this time to invest so that you can grow. The more you know, the more you can grow. So take that time. Personal governance is huge out here. And this is something that I'm very, very passionate about because I feel like this will help you in every facet of your life. Every facet. Whether it's your relationship, at home, with your kids, with your significant other, to help you at business. Because when you're accountable and when you care and you genuinely care about your growth professionally, personally, spiritually, you're just going to become a better person all the way around. So personal governance, make that a habit. Make that a part of your life. And that's my time. Have a great day. In the meantime, persist, believe, and achieve because you can be a success and you are on a journey to do something phenomenal.